welcome to a fresh edition of the program, The Uncommon Servants. I'm Janet Boulby-Renner. A notable quote by the 35th President of the United States of America, John F. Kennedy, states that victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. This aptly captures the story of our guest on The Uncommon Servant today. Often at a teen age, he was not deterred by the visible reality that the sudden death of his father could undermine his dreams of accessing quality education and the fulfillment of his life ambition of becoming one of the greatest his own son. Instead, his orphanhood became a springboard to gain impetus by taking on all manner of menial tasks just to be able to see himself through school. Today, that little boy who never lets fate determine his attitude is now a force to reckon with in not just the political landscape of Bayelsa State, but also in the secular and social space of Nigeria. Let's hear the story of Chief Collins Cocodia.
My name is Collins Boneladon Cocodia. I'm from Trofane community in Sagaba local government area of Bayelsa State. My mother is from Edo State, precisely from Oredo local government area of Edo State. From the great Cocodia family. Yeah, my hobbies are I love listening to good music. I also love dancing, even though I cannot dance very well. I also watch movie a lot. Well, I know clearly that I was born in Lagos, in Ikeja, precisely. In Ikeja police barrack in Lagos. And my father was a police officer. And I spent my early life in Lagos. Then later on, moved with my grandmother, who took care of me from age 1 plus to Trofane community, where I did my primary education. Then at a point in my life, I moved to Port Harcourt, where my father was living there, and continued my primary education there. Then the unfortunate event happened. I lost my father in the year 1982. My father died at a very tender age of 42 years. He was born in 1940 and died in 1982. Then after my father passed, we were moved from Port Harcourt back to Trofane to stay with my grandmother who was alive then. But while I was in the village, in the secondary school in the village, I did a lot of menial jobs. I most times accompanied my grandmother to the farm during farming season. Then I also assisted in community services. Then outside that, I also take clearing within contracts from people. I was also a mason at the point. I was a service boy to a mason. His name is late Fresh Okpei. I served him as a mason. As a service boy to the mason. Then I'll tell you that the WAEC that I wrote in 1988, I fell palm trees and I cleared cassava land that belongs to a woman called Ebire Zikei. She's still alive tomorrow. It was the proceed from that job that I used in paying for my WAEC fee in Trofane. And I told myself when I was paying, as I was clearing the grass and I was doing other things, I told myself, I said, God, please, I hand over this exam I want to write into your care. Next year, I must not come back to clear another person's cassava farm to pay for WAEC fee. And as if God heard my cries, I wrote my WAEC in 1988 and did very well in my WAEC. And my result was adjourned as the third best in the entire school. So you can see that jobs, for me, I started becoming mature too early. Then when I finished from the secondary school, I left the village. I went to stay with my uncle, who eventually became an officer at the Yanabaja area in Lagos, the Diaraba area in Lagos. Then later on, we moved to Gowan Estate in Yanabaja axis of Lagos. I started doing small business of my own. I became one of the first that brought Mary Kay products, distributed Mary Kay products in Nigeria. When the Igbos brought it, I'll go to get items from them to start marketing from door to door. I'd never had a shop. I was doing more like a salesman job. Then I did that at the point when there was fuel scarcity. I was also going to get fuel, to do retailing fuel. I was also doing retailing kerosene while still living with my uncle in his house in Yamapaja. Then when I gained admission, I got to Abraka. I started going to Cocodia to buy female shoes, bags, and bras. So as a student, I was also doing sales work in school. I'll go to Cotonou. Sorry, only God knows the illegal routes that we used to follow then. But once I got arrested, but my student ID cards allowed the immigration officers and custom officers to allow me to go. I told them I was only struggling to make ends meet and what have you. So I was doing those type of marketing in school to help myself because I became an indigent student. My uncle there was married and I didn't want to put too much pressure on him. He had a young family. I just felt that, of course, I was going to the university not as an infant anymore. I was already becoming an adult. I haven't spent almost about 5-6 years at home after secondary school waiting to study law that I didn't get. So I just felt that I should be doing things on my own to help myself. Then eventually my uncle bought a cassava grinding mill for my grandmother in the village. So what I was doing then was to leave the school. I'll leave Abraka on Friday evening after lectures. I'll go to Trofade. I will now help my grandmother to operate this cassava mill from Friday till on Monday morning. By Monday morning, I'm good to go back to the university. If I do not have lectures that Monday, I'll spend the entire Monday at home in the village, and on Tuesday, early Tuesday morning, I go back to Abraka. I was also doing MC for people doing marriages, burials, and whatever. You can verify this from people in Trofane. I was also into photography. Anytime I go to the village, I see some of my works done so many years back, still standing very fresh and good. And it gladdens my heart. So I was into photography, I was into doing MC and what have you, master of ceremony for marriages and what have you. And these were parts of the proceeds that saw me through the university. I didn't know that an illiterate grandmother can be a very good accountant till I came across my late grandmother, Mother Bedekore in Biemu. My grandmother, at the end of every day's work, she has 3 sets of safe in her house. I like using the words she used then. Kom-kom. She has 3 sets of kom-kom. They were local safes. When I come back with the proceeds at the end of the day's work, she will split the funds into three. One will be dropped in one safe, another in the other one, then the third in the other one. When it started, I didn't know why she was doing that. I just felt that all this money, they are all meant for us and for you and for maintaining the machine. He said, no. Continue what you are doing at the end of the day. So during long vacation was when I had the first experience. And as I was about going back to school, she now told me, she said, look, grandson, this one, you can see that we have limited funds inside this. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, this is where I've been giving you money to buy fuel to operate the mill. This is where we have been using money to maintain and service the mill, the cassava mill. That must be good. Then the second one, she said, this is our upkeep. The fish and all the things we have been eating in this house and all the other beans, rice we have been eating in this house, I've been taking it from here. But this one is the one you are taking back to school. Clear accounting technique for an illiterate woman. So I felt good. This woman can. Yes, I have siblings. I have two elder brothers. Then I also have younger siblings. And we are total 8 in number. 8 in number, so it's not a small family. The old man left 8 of us before he passed. I'm number 3 in the line. I have 5 of them behind me and 2 of them in front of me. So that's that. My relationship with them is quite cordial. Quite cordial. We are a big family. Just some 2 weeks ago, we had a family meeting here in my house. My elder brother in Port Harcourt, who is a pastor, came. The one year was also around, and 2 of my younger ones who are also in town also came, and we had that family meeting of 5 of us. Unfortunately, we have one of them in Abuja and 2 of them in the UK, United Kingdom, so they couldn't come. But the 5 of us met and took some critical decisions on behalf of the family. Truly, the person that influenced my coming into politics is late Chief Cocodia, who was the Olotu of Trofane and the Procruiser of Kabowe Kingdom. He was a member of the House of Reps in the Second Republic. He influenced my coming into politics while I was in the village growing up. I spent a lot of time with him while he was alive. A small boy going to always have a rendezvous with an old man. So he would tell me, look, my friend, my son, I know a lot of people are scared of politics, but you have to be there. But you know what you do for you to remain useful in politics? If the mouth of your friend stinks, tell him. Tell him. So if your friend usually wash his mouth once a day, since you have told him, he may decide to do it 2 times or 3 times. You must be firm. Don't shift ground unnecessarily. What is wrong, stand firm to say it is wrong. What is right, stand firm to say it is right. If you keep to these keys in politics, you are going to remain very long in politics. He told me that clearly, I still remember. And that man influenced me. And the same man influenced my getting into the traditional institution at a very early age, when I was offered to become a community chief. I rejected, and late Cocodia called me and said, my son, this title will open more doors for you. I don't know why you're running away from it. And I told him that. I said, Daddy, I'm still in school. I don't know of what use chieftaincy title would be for a schoolboy who was in my 200 level or 300 level in the university. He said, no. Take it. It will open doors for you. And truly, I will tell you that even after I took that title, I had a situation in the university where for student unionism I got arrested. And it was the chieftaincy title that rescued me from that arrest when the late Ovio Braka heard that there was a chief from River State that was in Amaka police station. And he said no. He sent his chiefs with their big beats to come to release me from the police station. So when they came and they said that we heard that there's a chief from River State in this station. Then Bayelsa was still under River State. Then the DPO came into it. He said, "Who is the chief here?" And I raised my hand. Say, "You." I said, "Yes, sir." "You, a chief?" I said, "Yes, sir." You see me then, I was tiny, I was small, innocent looking chief. So, see, he said, you should be released. And that was how they brought me from the cell to the counter and gave me near VIP treatment for another 1 day. So, what Cocodia saw while asking me to accept the chief title started playing very early in my life. And I'll tell you that I will not regret it, because the way it stands now, I've become an institution in traditional issues. Well, I initially wanted to study law. I made effort to study law. And I finished like I did mention in my preamble, I said I finished my secondary school in 1988. I finished my primary school in 1983. And my secondary school in 1988. Then I did my first jump in 1990 to study law. First class law, second class law. And third, history and diplomacy. And I was not given law. I was given history and diplomacy. And I declined. I said, is it not going to be law or not? Or nothing. Then I went on to write my second jam, my third jam, my fourth jam, and my fifth jam. All because I wanted to study law in the university. But this good story about it is, all through the period that I was applying to read law, put law as my first degree, I was never chosen. I was never given offered admission to read law. But all the years I was offered admission to read other programs other than law. And I declined all of them. It will shock you to know that at the point I was offered mathematics. To go and study mathematics. The same man that can fail mathematics 200 times was asked to go and study mathematics. I declined. I was offered admission to go and study business education. I declined. I was offered admission to study history again. I declined. But the way God programs the lives of individual without you knowing is God has plan and purpose for all of us. And most times, as individuals and as mortal beings, we walk outside God's plans for us. Eventually, I chose to study political science. Even that same year, I applied to study law in University of Ibadan. And my JAMB score was quite good. And in the River State group of those people that applied to study law, and I was assured that since you are second, at least if they are going to take 3 persons, you are sure that you will be chosen. But unfortunately, I was still never chosen to read law. Eventually, I was offered. I stayed at home. I was lamenting when I got an admission letter to go and study political science in Delta State University. As I was about moving from Lagos, then I was already staying with my uncle in Lagos, the ambassador in Lagos. As I was about moving from Lagos down to Delta State, I got my second admission to study pro-science in the same UI where I applied to study law. In anger and in protest, I said I wasn't going to UI. Rather, I'll come closer to study pro-science in Delta State. We all know that if you place the 2 universities side by side, of course, UI should be my first point of institution that I should choose. But I chose Delta State University eventually and studied political science. finished in the year 1999. But before then, I was already in politics. I was already deep in politics. Then I went back there to do my master's program and finished my master's program in public administration, specialization in local government admin in 2020. I'm sure that all about me and my academics has come to a halt. I don't intend to pursue a PhD because I think the best thing to do is to look for money this period and not to start bothering my head on how to pass exams, how to. Early. While I was in the university, I got my first appointment, even as a student of the university. Yes. I became a member of the Boundary Adjustment and Land Allocation Committee in Sacramento Local Government Council under Ben Abana, who was council chairman. Then it was a UNCP government, I think so, the UNCP government. I became a member of that committee. How much was my take home? My take home was 2,000 naira. And 2,000 naira, only God knows it was something. So what I was doing, because I was still in school, I'll keep my allowance for about 3 months. Then at the 3rd month or the 4th month, I'll come from Abraka to come and sign for my allowance. 8,000 at times 6,000, and take it back to school. When I get back to school, I think after transport, I'll still have so much money left with me. That was my very first breakthrough politically. Then after that, I finished, and it is shocking to know that I wanted to join the police force after I finished from the university. I did my youth service in the Kennel local government area in Ogun State. Then when I finished from Ogun State, my youth service, the first opportunity I saw, which has been the only job I have applied to do till date, is to join the police force as a cadet ASP. So I applied, and I was made to do my first interview in the command here, the Bayelsa State Command here. So when we did our test, we did both oral and written interview. We were over 200-something persons. I came first. The records are that I came first. The CP had a problem with me. I came to the interview with a cloth that was not ironed. There, light situation there was hectic in Bayelsa. So for poor dressing code, they removed some marks from me. I still maintained my first lead. 25 of us got shortlisted to the zone, Edo, Zone 5 in Benin. The Zone 5 exams was not as fierce as the one in the command. I came first in the zone among the 25 of us that left the command. Then 15 of us got shortlisted to Lagos. 15 of us got shortlisted from the Bayelsa State Command. 15 of us got shortlisted to Lagos. The Lagos interview was the cheapest. Was the cheapest because it was more of interviewing the DIGs that came for that interview. There was no written test. It was more of an oral interview. When I finished that, I know I did very well in that. But unfortunately, I was not chosen. The people that did the interview with me, after we finished, they came and shook hands with me. I said, guy, congratulations, we'll see you in the police college in Jos and somewhere, I can't remember. But unfortunately, I was not chosen. It was because I was quite angry. I saw me fail in a thing I wanted dearly. I wanted it badly, but I didn't succeed. My father was a police officer, so I felt I was going to cane the same line with my father. Even though he was a constable, I would have started as a cadet ASP. I would have been. But it did not deter me. Rather, it became a thing that strengthened me. Then after that, I told myself I was not going to apply to be in any civil service work. Rather, I'm going to be in politics and in business. And true to it, as if God also sealed the confession that I made. I got my second appointment politically as press secretary to the chairman of Torabobo local government area, Chief Elder Inikade Obenu. I became his press secretary. And while I was press secretary, I felt that there was a need for me to vie for the House of Assembly from my constituency, Sanama constituency 3. Then I obtained form to vie for that. But that did not, I did not succeed in that. 1 year after, I was made member of Torabobo Local Government Council. As a member, and Fellow Solumo was my chairman. Chief Fellow Solumo was my chairman. I declined that appointment. That would have been my third appointment. I declined. And I told myself that I wanted to go to the House of Assembly, not to be a member of any rural development authority. A lot of persons were not happy. They felt that this young man should have started that way, tried that before doing something else. But don't forget that I did mention to you that I started politics quite early. So all through the period I've been serving, right from the SDP, NRC era, to the UNCP era, to the Zero Party era, then before PDP now came on board. I've been serving different stakeholders and different leaders. So I did not accept that offer, and eventually my contest to the House of Assembly also did not see the light of the day. Then the way God has also programmed these things to be, I got offered my other appointment as chairman of the local government area where I was press secretary some 1 year plus ago. And before then, I got involved in an accident which kept me in the hospital for over 1 year plus. God was not done with me, so he saw me through that very difficult situation in my life. I was bedridden for a long period. I moved from hospital to hospital till eventually I did my surgery in South Africa, Pretoria, South Africa. Then along the line, the offer came for me to be chairman of Torabobo Local Government Council. So even when I went to the House of Assembly for screening, I went with crutches. I was on crutches. And to God be the glory, I got cleared to be the chairman. And I was chairman of Torabobo Local Government Area for 2 years. So after serving as chairman of Torabobo Local Government Area, I left the saddle and was into private business. I got into dredging. You know, I told you of my early part of doing marketing. I continued with my marketing work and dredging work and what have you. Then God brought Governor H.S. Dixon as governor in the year 2012. Then miraculously, I got appointed as Governor Special Rep Sandaman Local Government Area. That became my fourth appointment politically. Served as Governor Special Rep for 8 months, and I got elevated to the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development by our state. I served in that capacity till about 6 months to the end of his first tenure. I got appointed as a double sitting commissioner overseeing sports development. At that time, I was the only double sitting commissioner who was commissioner for youth development and commissioner overseeing sports development. And I did that close to the election period when they felt that there was a need for me to come back and focus on the youths and go to put the youths together for his re-election in 2016, 2015, 2016. Then after the elections in 2016 and its inauguration, I got reappointed as Commissioner for Youth Development for the second time. And as the government went on doing the fulfilling promises made and also giving the people of Biafra the dividend of democracy, I got appointed to a brand new Ministry of Labour, Employment and Productivity as the pioneer commissioner in that ministry. Because I did a lot of training programs for the youths. I did most of them in collaboration with so many non-governmental organizations like ITF, UNITA, and so many other groups and what have you. We trained, we gave out startup packs and so many other things. So my name became popular from the Ministry of Youth Development. But when I got to sports, I also did the magic in the Ministry of Sports. The swimming pool had been unused for only God knows how long. But it was when I was in the Ministry of Sports, the first time the swimming pool got finished, completed, and we had blue water in the swimming pool where swimmers were going there to train and what have you. Fortunately for me, the day they started using the swimming pool, I was in New Jersey because of the Ministry of Sports. I was in New Jersey going to have a dialogue with one of these sports companies where they wanted to come to use Aswama Sports Academy as their regional office. And I was in that deep discussion with them when I started seeing pictures and videos of the swimming pool that I have just finished being used by swimmers and what have you. So we did that till the Governor H.S. Dixon tenure came to an end. And at the verge of having a brand new government, God wanted me to still remain in the field he has chosen for me. Clearly, it showed me who was going to be governor, who was going to succeed Governor Dixon. He showed me 3 times. And I keyed into that. And I went and told Governor Dixon who was going to succeed him almost about 1 year before we started talking about who was going to contest, who was not going to contest. So there and there, as the election period became closer, Governor Dixon asked me to go and pioneer that dream that God showed to me as the first acting DG of Governor Doidiri's campaign. So true to it, I started doing the preamble, the elementary movements, getting people to come and support him and what have you, as the acting DG of Governor Doidiri for governor in 2019. Then eventually, after I was in charge of his entire campaign until he became the candidate of the People Democratic Party. So when he became the candidate of the People Democratic Party, there was a need to expand the coast and to get other aspirants to come and join us in that thing. And there, I was asked to relinquish my DG-ship for me to allow a fresh hand to come and take over the campaign, which I did. And then when Professor Nibofa Ayawe became the DG of the campaign, and I became the DG operations in Governor Doidiri's prosperity campaign. So the way God has programmed it in 2020, even though things went the other way, God remodeled it and brought it to our favor because that was God's original plan for him. And he became governor and God sworn in 2020. After his swearing in, I was not too keen of what I was going to, the role I was going to be assigned to, which I was not too keen of what I was going to get. Because I know God did not also show me what I was going to get. He only told me who was going to be governor and that I have a role to play. So for me, I've played my role. It's now left for God to also do the needful. So the governor, in his own wisdom, called me and told me that he was going to make me his political advisor. So further give me the opportunity to do what I enjoy doing. That was how in 2020 I got appointed as special advisor to the governor of political matters. Then we continued in that. We brought peace to Bayelsa, we brought development to Bayelsa, to see that first we are Bayelsans before we are members of different political parties. We made Bayelsans to understand that Project Bayelsa must not suffer. So we did that till we got to the next election in 2023. In 2023, we went out in another round of governorship elections. And this time we were better organized, we were better accepted than the 2019 situation. And we won that election in landslide. And till date, that's the best election Bayelsa have ever had till date. Then after the 2023 election, swearing in 2024, the governor graciously reappointed me as a special advisor on political matters to continue the good work I've been doing, to bring peace to Bayelsa, to bring love to Bayelsa, to bring unity to Bayelsa, and to ensure that Project Bayelsa wouldn't suffer no matter what. That's what I'm doing till date. And I tell people this. I say, this job that I'm doing, even if I'm not paid, I will do it. If you give me a job in the bank, with any amount tied to it, I will decline it. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. What I do is talking to people. It's appealing to people. And I enjoy it. For me, success is all about having a dream, pursuing your dream despite the limitations or the shortcomings, and not being distracted by what you see, but focusing on where you are going to. It may be difficult. It may not be as quick as you have planned it, but you will surely get there if you believe in God and you rest your hopes and trust in God. That is success for me. For me, I'm yet to be called a successful man. Till date, I'm not yet a successful man because I'm still going somewhere. I use this opportunity to talk to our youths. And our youths, there is no shortcut to success. But hard work pays. Hard work pays. Being diligent in any career you have chosen pays. Being straightforward in any career you have chosen pays. For me, I see youths of today wanting to achieve where they have not even planted anything or sold anything. No. I see a situation where the love for money is so high that they don't care. Even if it is blood they are going to use to have that money, they are ready and they are willing to do it. And I tell people, young youths, this your crave for money, for quick wealth, for riches, wanting to do voodoo, wanting to use people's wanting to use people to achieve quick wealth has to be discouraged. As quick as the wealth comes, that's how fast you will also get to your grave. So I want to plead with them. Please, Yahoo or Yahoo Plus or Yahoo Minus or Yahoo Surplus is a thing that is of no benefit to mankind and to humanity. Well, I think the first thing that I hold dear is trust in God. My slogan has been, in God I trust. If you check anything that College Cocodia Foundation is doing till tomorrow, you'll see, in God I trust. If you check Governor Doidiri's campaign organogram and platforms in 2019, you see, in God we trust. And that in God we trust was a concept that I got from God. And I took that concept and put it in that campaign. There is no way you can trust in God and be disappointed. You see, I also think that sincerity pays, honesty pays, hard work pays. And if you have these three things, you are sincere, and you are also you are hardworking, and you have the trust of God. You have your trust put in God. success will surely not be far from you. And that's my philosophy about life. Well, it's just as somebody not too long ago asked that you have a will. And I said, I'm not thinking of writing a will now. But you know that the right thing to do is to write a will at every point in time. But most times in this part of the world, we think when we're writing a will, we are thinking of dying the next few years. And I cleverly told the person, I say, when I'm 60, I'm going to write my will when I'm 60. So that is that. Your question was, what do I want to be remembered for? Well, I want to be remembered for as one man that will never hurt his fellow human being deliberately. In course of the job we do, there are certain decisions we take that may not please everybody. That is call of duty. But deliberately that Collins Cocodia will see you and say, I will do him this thing, let him be angry, let him be offended, I will kill this man. That will not come from him. I want to be remembered as somebody that came, saw, and conquered. I want to remember as somebody that changed the narrative of being in politics. Where you hear people say, when you are in politics, you have to be in the court. When you are in politics, you have to do this. You have to go to the juju man house for juju man to fortify you, for this, for that. And I've always maintained that I have never done that till date. And I will never do it till I die. I want to be remembered for as somebody that wants to give a helping hand to the less privileged. I want to be seen as one man that is using Christ to play his politics. And anywhere I go, I preach politics. As I preach politics, I also preach Christ. And I tell people that I took a covenant and a vow before I came into this game. I told God that I will serve you and serve you alone till I die. The day I go to see any native doctor herbalist to give me medicine, jazz, for protection, for promotion, for elevation, for this, let thunder strike me dead from heaven. It's a personal covenant with God. And I told him, now that I've done this and I will never go against this, my growth rests in your hands. My growth rests in your hands. Do you know that I'm a member of the traffic unit in my church till tomorrow? I've been in this unit for close to 30-something years now. But God told me something. He said, as you have come to clear my human traffic, I will clear your political traffic for you. And I heard that clearly. Not from any man of God, I heard that clearly. The Collins Cocodia Foundation has done so well in this light. I have a foundation fully funded by me. I have not received one dime from any other non-governmental organization, be it in Nigeria or abroad. We have been able to, we've reached out to widows on a regular basis. We have reached out to physically challenged people. We bought wheelchairs, crutches. We've reached out to the girl child, giving them sanitary pads. We've reached out to people, even in the hospital, that could not pay for their medical bills. Even though they've been discharged. FMC, I did that 2 years ago in FMC. Discharged, a lot of 5, 6 of them discharged. They couldn't leave because they are owing the hospital. I said, no. I called the CMD was not around, so the doctor who stood on behalf of the CMD, I asked him to bring all the bills of all the patients discharged and ensure that all their bills were paid. I've reached out to people, the inmates in Okaka Correctional Center. When I did one of my birthdays with them, and even had to cut my birthday, use the opportunity to tell them how crime and criminality will not be of use to them and how it will not help them. And after this period in detention, once they leave, they should turn a new leaf and what have you. Give them some gift items. We've even gone to the orphanage, not once, not twice. We've gone to several orphanages and what have you to give out things to the children in the orphanage and what have you. One of them, I took my children to the orphanage and I wanted them to see the other part of life. And the things I wanted them to see was what they saw. And when we got back to the house, the questions I was expecting was what I also got from them. As I talk to you, I have people in my foundation that I don't know. Some of them I've not even met them. They are part of my scholarship till tomorrow. are part of my scholarship tomorrow. I've not met some of them. It's both secondary school and the tertiary institution, but I pay as I when due. My foundation is paid as I when due. So we pray. Amen. The best piece of advice I've ever received was from my grandmother, my late grandmother, who till she passed became my role model. She said, don't look for money desperately. Desperately don't look for money. She said, be sincere to people. And above all, she said, be careful with women. When I was in the university, I told you of my service that I was going home to help my grandmother in Cassava Mill. At the point, I was the chairman of Trofane Light Committee. I was in the university. I was the chairman of Trofane Light Committee. Then we had this generator that was supplying us light. So it became my responsibility to buy diesel. Every month, people make contribution. We buy diesel to run the community plant, to maintain the community plant. When I was in university, I was also coming back to teach in the secondary school during my long vacation. I was coming to teach school without being paid. Then also the school laboratory where I did my lab exams and what have you, the building became unusable. I renovated it myself without anybody adding money to it. I brought my funds, renovated it, made it usable for the students. I've also been taking care of coppers who come to serve in my community. I've been supporting the schools during inter sports and what have you. I've also been able to buy a 350 kVA generating plant to my community. When I was a commissioner, I bought that generating plant and gave to the community. I've been able to buy Okada and give to my community. In my community, we have 3 quarters in my community. I discovered that, I told you that I grew up in the village. So as a village Pekin, I noticed that the quarters do have certain contributions that they make once a while. But most times, they are unable to meet up with those contributions because the people there, they are not rich. They are poor farmers there. So I felt once, I just felt that why not empower each of the quarters with Okada so that if they give it out for lease, they can be generating daily income from that. So I bought 3 Okadas and gave to each of the 3 quarters and gave one to the non-indigens. So that day I bought 4 Okadas and gave to my community. That same day I bought 4 deep freezers and gave to people doing cool drink business in my community. That same day I bought generators and gave to the people with the cool room business. That same day I also bought nets that I gave to men so that they can go to the river to catch fish and all those stuff. I did that some years back. I've also bought canopies and chairs and rentals and gave to the women wings of Trofane. So they were using it to rent and they were making some money from it. I've done that. I've also been able to have my community reconnected to the national grid not too long ago because the line got vandalized, and for a long time my community was under darkness. And when Governor the project started right from Governor Dixon, but we couldn't complete it. When Governor Doiduri came, he awarded the job to the Bayelsa Electricity Board, and they completed the reconnection of Trofane community to the national grid. I've also been helping the community to pay the NEPA bill, the electricity on a monthly basis. Till tomorrow, I still pay for them on a monthly basis. I'm not resident in the village, but I pay monthly bill. I give my contribution, I send my contribution on a monthly basis to them for them to be able to meet up with the monthly bill. During the last flood, Trofane got cut off. So we have also been able to have the community reconnected back. The governor did a quick makeshift bypass to Trofane, but NDDs came recently. They've been able to do that. Before then, the governor did 2 culverts, a single cell culvert and a double cell culvert, to allow floods to pass without tearing the community into 2. As I talked to you, the governor is also constructing a 500 meters walkway into one of the satellite communities in Trofani. So, and that itself is one thing that I'm also putting my eyes to look how the contractor is able to complete that job. Well, I think the peace I get there anytime I have the opportunity to go there is because of the people, the love that they have shown towards me. They see me as a local breed. They see me as one of their own. Most of them saw me while I was grinding cassava for my late grandmothers. Most of them have passed, but some of them are still alive. Some of them saw me when I was doing photography. They saw me. Some of them saw me when I was doing MC work in burials and in marriages, in the birthday ceremonies. They saw me. So seeing me get to where I am today, they are always very happy. Like I usually tell them, I say the prayers they've been making for me is what has come to pass now. So the peace of mind that I get there is as a result of the love I get from the people. Anytime I go there, there's no time I don't come with it. 2 bags of gari, yam, sweet potato, plantain, fish. At times they put fish. They stock my boot with those items. And that's because one good turn deserves another. I've also been able to be kind to them and been able to reach out to them. Plantain, fish. At times they put fish. They stock my boot with those items. And that's because one good turn deserves another. I've also been able to be kind to them and been able to reach out to them. So we pray. Amen. Yes, I think the most challenging part of my life was when I was staying with my grandmother. After we moved from Lagos, came to the village, and my grandmother needed to stay with her elder brother in his house. But the building is not that big and had no space for us. So myself and my grandmother were confined to use the parlor in the night to sleep. We sleep in the parlor, in our elder brother's parlor in the night. Then early in the morning, before guests start coming to visit him, we remove all our beddings and take them to one small place and keep them there. So we did that for over 6 years. And that was one part of my life that I will never forget. My grandmother started having bodily pains from that. When we cannot sleep early, because my grandmother, elder brother, usually have a lot of guests. He was a musician. So you can imagine, he was a musician, and he was one of the greatest fishermen in my community there. He has a lot of friends. So we'll wait till the last of them will leave the house before we can now do our beddings to sleep. Then very early in the morning, we'll remove it before guests start coming and whatever. That part of my life is one part of my life that I pray that should not be the portion of even my enemy. When I got involved in an accident in cause of a political movement that I was doing for somebody, I was to pick up some PDP flags and Nigeria flag from somewhere to give to somebody. On my way from Delta, after doing that, I got into an accident that almost damaged my ankle, my right ankle. And that kept me in the hospital for a very long time. Then it kept me in Comicado for a very long time too. Then I started managing my health till eventually I got appointed as chairman to Abuja. So after my appointments, I pleaded with the governor then, the DSP of blessed memory, who through the Ministry of Local Government, headed then by Chief Fedodo Zimuasan, supported me with some funds that enabled me to go to South Africa to carry out a surgical operation on my right ankle. It was another difficult time in my life. Once active man, once good in playing football, play badminton, play volleyball, playing table tennis. Suddenly couldn't embark on any of these sports and activities anymore. It was another phase of a very dark time in my life. That anytime I reflect on that, it has helped to shaping me. It has helped to shaping me by way of the way I look at people, the way I talk to people, the way I address people, the way I come to the aid of people. Especially when I see people with health issues. Then my uncle's wife, my grandmother's elder brother's wife, will now look at me eating the food I'm eating with just crayfish inside, no meat, no fish. She will now use her own spoon to go and bring fish from her pot and come and put in my plate. Then she will tell me, say, call is her. Let me interpret because of my own sister. She will say, like, look at the way this young boy is eating this food. It's as if this is the best food on planet Earth. I always have that idea that whatever I have is the best. I do not look at what, if you like having limousine, it's not my fucking business. Sorry, I'm using the F word. It's not my business. You see, that my Prado is the best of planet Earth. You see, that my Pusha Start is the best of planet Earth. If you like having a mansion that is as big and as beautiful as government house, that's not my business. You see, this my board is the best house on planet Earth. This house is better than White House in the US. I am not interested in what this person has or what the other. I'm not interested. What I'm interested in is what I have. You see, this is my gene. I don't know what she bought your own, but my own is not expensive, but it's the best on planet Earth. See, so that has helped to shaping my mindset and has given me this very broad way to look at issues and at people and at events. I can't get a call and be told that the children in the house have not eaten and I'll go to bed. I don't know. I don't need to know who made the call. I just need to know if the person is being frank or not. Because you know now, the 419 they are doing with those type of calls is everywhere. Somebody is somewhere living the cruisy life, drinking beer, telling that his wife is just being rushed to the hospital to go and put to bed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the wife. So once we are able to sift out from the people telling us lies and the genuine ones, we come to help almost immediately. But unfortunately, the people telling lies seems to be spoiling work for the people being sincere and being genuine with their request. I can't go to bed if I hear that some children have not gone to school. If I can help, I can't go to bed. I can't go to bed if I hear that people have issues with rent, even though I know everybody should be able to pay for their rent. The children may suffer from the inability of the parents to pay for such rent. When the landlord comes to harass, the children will be there. When the caretaker comes to harass, the children will be there. And that psychological thing that they get from that thing affects them while growing up. So I have learned a lot, and from my experience too, I've used what I saw while growing up to shaping the way I relate with people. It has almost become on a daily thing, setbacks and disappointments. I don't count them anymore. If I've told myself that whoever I help, I'm just helping because God has asked me to help the person. I'm not expecting the payback to come from anybody. I'm not even expecting a thank you to come from anybody. Because I've come to realize that in this part of the world, the more you help people, the more they go to say things that are not complimentary or about you. The more you come to their aid, the more they castigate you. The more you support them, the more they see you as somebody being used by them. See, any good thing Cocodia has done, if nobody says it, don't worry yourself. God in heaven knows. That's the latest of all my titles that I have. And that title came by way of experience I've gathered while giving genuine support to people. Genuine support to people. And you are stabbed almost immediately after giving support to them. So as regards disappointment, I don't see it as anything anymore. I see it as a way of life. I don't bother myself about that anymore. So we pray. Well, I got accused for what I didn't do. I got castigated by a whole lot of people that I've supported for what I didn't do. And I felt bad. Nobody could speak for me. They wanted me to speak for myself. And I said, no, this is not right. So that experience is not an experience that I want to see happen again. I was innocent and I got accused. I got condemned. I got crucified. I got punished for a crime that I did not commit. And the people believed the fallacy being spread about me. That is one bitter lesson that I've learned lately, not too long ago. It has hardened me. It has made me to be I've become more hardened now. The usual things that usually make me to come to people's aid, it's not there anymore. Now I do it as my spirit leads. If you like, come and cry from now till tomorrow. It will not move me. It will not move me. What moves me is when my spirit says, that person coming, help. Before you get to me, without asking, the help will come. Because I've seen that human beings are very quick to forget good done to them. They're very quick to forget that. And it's easy for them to remember anything you do against them. They hold on to it. But all the plenty goods you have done for them is not recorded in the book of your name. So that is also one lesson that I've learned. I don't know, because I'm sure that I grew up from a family that was well disciplined. So recklessness was not allowed in the family. Failure was not allowed in the family. And my uncle, who I grew up with, is one man that you cannot fail and fail. You cannot. I almost passed through a happened. Then when I was growing up with my grandmother, when you have done something wrong, she will not talk to you. She just go and put kai in her mouth and wait for you to come back. And when she come back, the kai will just be in your eye. While you are battling, it starts hearing, the cane will be running around you. And after that, she will now bring you back to herself. She will now pet you and make you see reasons why you must not do that again. So it was more of a discipline thing. So I didn't do anything extraordinary while growing up. I will even tell you that I started life a little bit late in terms of the things that I should have done that I didn't do. But I was very quick in maturing because of the hard work I started doing, because I started fending for myself in early part of my life. I grew very mature too early. You see, so my younger self, if I have any way to advise my younger self now, I'll advise my younger self to repeat what I did as a young man, not to do something contrary. No, not to do something contrary. My younger self was almost like a perfect younger self, but very stubborn. And that stubborn part of it, I'll plead that my younger self should not repeat it again. And I was very stubborn. I was very stubborn. I was very quick to anger. I was quick to anger. I broke this my hand 2 times. I broke this my hand once because of stubbornness. I'll go to a one-story building under construction. I'll jump from there down. I'll somersault down. I broke my head because of stubbornness. I broke this part of my head because of stubbornness. And this was part of the melting point in my life. And I did a lot of stubborn things while I was growing up. When I'm eating, you dare not talk to me or query me or question me when I'm eating. If you question me when I'm eating as a small boy, I'll take the plate and dash the broken plate on the ground and walk out of the house. I've had a situation where I was drinking water with glass and my grandmother was talking to me. I just squeezed the glass got burst in my hand. I pierced into my hand and threw away the glass and blood was coming out of the child and I walked out of the house. I was never bullied. Because I was always standing up for myself. And the only one time that a classmate in one of the schools I attended in Port Harcourt while I was with my dad tried to bully me, it resulted in a big fight. That's the only one that I can remember. and he used a biro to pierce into my chest. Yes, the sign is still there till today. I have a mark in this part of my chest from a biro that was driven into my chest by somebody that wanted to bully me, and I took up a fight with him. And the school authority looked into the matter, and the child was punished. God is telling me He's not done with me yet. That is what I hear from Him on a daily basis. I have become a pencil in His hands. I have no plans of my own. I'm waiting for God to use me again and again. The first change that I expect, and that is one that is dear to my heart, is to see a country that is peaceful, a country that gives everybody the equal right to be what they want to be. And also to see a country where our votes will count. I've been in politics for God knows how long. I am always very angry anytime I see an election conducted in an atmosphere of rancor and what have you. And I think it is doable with a good mindset of the leadership. It is doable. I want to see this country move from where we are now to a greater country, a greater nation where love will speak for all of us. And the killing going on by herdsmen, Boko Haram, and all those ISWAT and what have you, I pray that the military will be able to fight them to stand still and possibly, chase them out of this country. This country will need peace in this country. But the electoral process, that is the one that bothers me the most. For us to have a transparent, free, and an acceptable election is what I want to see in my lifetime. I want to see that in my lifetime. I also want to see a situation where elected members of the parliament will begin to take responsibilities for decisions that they vote for in the house. Be it a senator, a member of the House of Reps, a member of the House of Assembly, up to councillors. Well, it has become our nature here. There's no way I will not say it. At times, some persons you help. At times, one shouldn't have helped. I have that as a regret. Some people will come, we do things for, we shouldn't do for them. It's just like somebody will say that every dog knows the owner. If you like feed them from now to next year, when the owner whistles, he jumps towards the owner. Some persons are very evil. They don't care what you do for them. They want to see you down anytime they have any opportunity. But of course, it's part of life. I will not count it as a regret, but I will count it as an unfortunate thing that is playing out in this part of the world. For me, God has been kind to me. God has been good to me. God has been good to my family. God has been good to all the people around me. And for me, to God be the glory and the God alone I trust.
had a wonderful time with our guest, Chief Collins Cocodia. The question now is, who is our next uncommon servant? Please tune in as we bring you yet another exceptional personality. Same time, same station next week. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, The Uncommon Servants, and on YouTube at The Uncommon Servants. I'm Janet Bobai Renner. Thanks for watching.